Hello, my name is Rhonda Rains, and I am a PhD student in Reading Education and Language Arts at Florida State University, presenting my poster entitled Podcasting, an Innovative Approach to Bridging Research and Practice. This poster explains one attempt by two research fellows to help bridge the research to practice gap that exists in education today. As a teacher and then a reading specialist who worked with struggling readers for over 15 years, I experienced firsthand some of the challenges educators face in attempting to deliver reading instruction that meets the needs of all students, especially those with reading disabilities. These challenges have been well documented by researchers such as Moats and Washburn, and stories of them are becoming more prevalent in the news media due to efforts of reporters like Emily Hanford. Although researchers have built an extensive body of knowledge on effective methods of reading instruction, the NAEP results in 2019 still show that 66% of fourth grade students are reading at or below basic levels. Cook and Odom are two researchers who have studied why there seems to be a gap between research and practice and have found multiple possibilities, some of which are the practicality of implementation within classrooms, limited resources of schools, and a lack of knowledge of evidence-based methods of instruction. This gap in knowledge led myself and another research fellow, Nancy Morenson, from the R2D2 program at Florida State to brainstorm ideas on how to disseminate information from research to educators and caregivers in a simple and practical manner. Because the translation of research into practice is a focus of our program, we had seen how some researchers were using podcasts to more efficiently communicate research findings to the public. Dr. Tiffany Hogan is one example, with her podcast called See, Hear, Speak, where she discusses topics relating to reading and language with a wide variety of experts. This gave us the idea to create a podcast episode focused solely on information for teachers and caregivers about dyslexia. Our purpose for the episode was to share some basic knowledge about the characteristics of dyslexia, what the screening and identification process looks like at many schools, and some potential impacts of cultural and linguistic diversity on the identification process. We then researched and prepared our information for the recording session. We recruited an elementary school teacher to be part of our podcast and provide the practitioner viewpoint. We created an agenda for the episode that had the order of topics and listed who was responsible for leading each discussion. The podcast was recorded via Zoom due to COVID protocols still being in place at the time. We then set about editing it for brevity, and this is when we found out that we had a fatal flaw. We realized during the editing process that the sound quality of our episode was not suitable for publication. Even though we are unable to make our episode publicly available, we learned quite a few lessons that are hopefully beneficial to others who may be interested in using the same type of medium to share research, and for ourselves for in the future when we try again. The most important lesson that we learned was that if you want to be able to publish your podcast, then you need to have strong internet connections and good quality sound equipment. Otherwise, you may end up like us with an unusable product. Another takeaway was that we had tried to include too much information in one episode in our zeal to communicate as much knowledge about dyslexia as we could. We realized that less is more when it comes to the number of topics and the amount of information within one episode. Rather than having one long episode with 3 topics, it would have been better to do a separate episode for each one. Due to the large amount of work and collaboration that goes into just one episode of a podcast, we wondered about the effectiveness of this approach to communicating research findings to the general public. We feel this would be a good topic of study for future researchers interested in the effectiveness of various methods of translating research evidence into practice. Thank you for attending my poster presentation and allowing me to share some of the lessons we learned in this process. Please feel free to contact myself or Nancy Morenson at the emails listed on the poster if you have any further questions or comments. I appreciate your time.